lean and peek in first person?
Yeah, to explain the lean and peek, I have to go back to Killzone Liberation, where we first experimented with this feature. There we introduced duck and cover. Basically the mechanic is that you press the shoulder button to crouch. So if you do that close to cover, you press the fire button, the character will automatically stand up and shoot over the cover. What we've done here is basically the same. You walk up to cover, you press the second shoulder button on the left, and you latch onto the cover, and now you can press the fire button to blind fire over the cover and suppress your enemies, or you can press the left analog stick forward to step up and to be able to fire. You can also move sideways while latched onto the cover, and you can also walk up to high cover like this, press the shoulder button and then left, lean out left, like this, to fire at your enemies. You can also use the reflex scope mode, so if you press the right analog stick, you can zoom in on your enemies and have a bit more accurate aim. So it's a fairly simple mechanic, but it's very intuitive and easy to use. And what we want to try and do is make the player more aware of this environment and scan for cover and make more use of this environment while engaging enemies.
Maybe you can move on to the alleyway. So what we're trying to do with introducing things like first-person lean and peek is really broaden the things that the player can do in the game, and also to accommodate different styles of playing. We've got a variety of different weapons that all are suited to different styles of play. And lean and peek is one where you can basically use a more tactical approach to your gameplay. And if you want to run and gun and pick up something like Matthijs is wielding now, a submachine gun, which is a short-range weapon, that's fine. But of course, it's going to be dangerous as you're meeting quite a few Helghast forces at this point. Just to look at some of the details here, what we've done. Because our engine is a proprietary engine. This is something we created ourselves, and the engine is using something called deferred rendering. That's the little buzzword you can see on top of the screen. Deferred rendering means that we can basically throw a lot of lights around, and we can really use lights to our advantage. So this level alone holds over 500 lights. They're all shadow casting, and what that does is that makes sure that everything feels like it's part of the world, like it's integrated. So all the physics objects, all the characters, they all cast shadows, and that really allows for everything to be part of this world. I can see these little hiccups here and there when Matthijs just hopped over the thing, also when he's around the corner. That's where we're loading. Of course, we'll have a streaming system in the final game, so you won't notice any of these loads. So it'll all be very seamless. For us, where we're creating a first-person shooter, the biggest question is, I mean, you're shooting for 70–80% of the time. That has to be fun and rewarding. Now to us, what we wanted to implement there is to make sure that every bullet has an impact. Not only by adding a lot of destructibility to the world, but also by implementing something we call the hit response system. And with hit responses, what we can do there is that enemies or our characters react to where they are hit, how they are hit, and with what force they are hit. That's what the system allows us to do, is seamlessly blend motion captured animation with physics impulses, which means that we've motion captured somebody being shot in the right arm. Obviously he's not being shot right there, but you can see the arm flailing, and then based on a physics impulse and based on exactly where he's hit, we can exaggerate or tone down that animation. So what that does is that the characters respond to your bullets, but always in a different manner. So you really get the sense of what you're doing has an impact on the world. We also looked at particular at the death animations, which is something that stuck with us from the original Killzone, where people said, well, the death animations are kind of sloppy, to be honest. That's something that we definitely wanted to improve upon. So we've gotten these motion capture death animations, and again, we're changing over to ragdoll animation as soon as possible. So if you're shooting them down a stairwell, they will actually roll down the stairwell and things like that. So again, that's one of the more important systems that allow us to really make the core gameplay element, which is shooting, to have that very fun and rewarding experience. And this is playing with ragdolls. Thank you, Matthijs. Now, of course, another thing that we felt we needed to improve upon is AI and the enemy responses to what you're doing. With Killzone Liberation, we already showed that the AI is capable of flanking you and is aware of their surroundings. They know what is destructible. They are able to fire through it, and they're also able to target destructible objects or even damage-inflicting objects that are near the player, such as this little barrel, which is a lot of fun because you can shoot it, and based on where the gas starts emitting, it'll get a physics impulse and either do very good things for you or very bad things if you can see it flying towards you. So we had to really look at the AI, and for Killzone2 we basically overhauled our AI system to make it compatible with the huge amount of physics objects that's flying around in the world, with lots of destructibility that's going on in the world. And of course you're fighting in larger groups now, so they have to be aware of each other, have to be aware of the opposing force, and adjust their behavior accordingly. What you can see now is on screen is what we call the Heavy. The Heavy is a mini boss. This is also something that we introduced in Killzone Liberation, the whole concept of boss fights. This adds to the variety of the game. It requires different tactics to play with these guys. The Heavy in particular is very well armored at the front. He's got a big chain gun, and if you're behind cover and he can't get to you with his chain gun, he can actually fire a grenade. You can see a little smoke trail coming towards you, and you hear the beeping of impending death if you don't get out of the way soon enough. Now, this enemy needs a special tactic. He's vulnerable at his back, which means you either have to flank him or have your buddies flank him. But what we can also do is use our hit response system to trigger him to turn around. There's the impending beep, there we go. If you shoot at his head, you momentarily disorientate him, and he actually turns around and exposes his back to you, and you can then take him out. So that's where we start using these systems to integrate them into gameplay as well, and make the player more aware of what he's doing and give him different options to take down these enemies. This is just a broad overview of what we're doing in this game. One other thing maybe to point out is if you look up into the sky, there's lots of lightning going on. Matthijs is being shot right now. There's lots of lightning going on. Weather will play an important part in Killzone2. The Helghan planet is a very hostile environment. The Helghast have adjusted to that environment, not only by their breathing apparatus and the goggles, but they've also harnessed some of the planet's powers. And in this case, it's the weather, it's the electricity in the air that they're able to capture the lightning strikes and fire it back up into the air. And that's basically what the arc weapon, the big thing that shot the intruder out of the sky, what that is doing. It is collecting the electricity and firing it back up into the sky.